My name is Dr. Ashok Seth, and I'm the chairman of the Fortis Escorts Heart Institute in New Delhi, India. There's not enough excitement around research and development. And the reason for that is that the research and development is not adequately rewarded in our country. In the West, the researchers are considered higher in echelon in terms of social respect, standing, in terms of even remunerations, in terms of their position, in terms of their growth up a professional ladder. The researchers are considered far more and given far more credit for research than is given in India. In fact, in a medical profession in the West, you cannot grow further in life and get to the next level of promotions or to become a professor unless you've done at least 2 years of academic pure research and then produce publications which are seminal, which are actually path-breaking in many instances, and which do alter, give new insight, information, and add to the previous information. It is these valuable seminal researchers, fresh researchers, which are considered the most important in the West. And unless a number of publications have already been done, the competition for the top job of even a consultant, let alone professorship, even a consultant only happens to those who've actually researched. So it becomes a very key ingredient of professional excellence, of professional standing, of social standing, and a reward. Unfortunately, that does not exist in India. And therefore, the second aspect is that we don't create the milieu. The milieu means providing the infrastructure for research, providing the funding for research, creating the excitement for a youngster to be inquisitive in that area and yet have funding and not be troubled by the fact that he's got to seek funding for an idea and has to go from door to door to find funds. If we actually nurture research, then we have to create a whole milieu around it, and that is a multiple factorial milieu. And then only we will make sure that our youngsters get excited about research and think that as the first line and not a fallback option. Unfortunately, people think it as a fallback option when they've got nothing else to do, rather than a first line profession, rather than the most important thing in life. I think and it's only when you inculcate that right from school to college that you will actually find good researchers coming forth. You just can't have somebody deciding that I like to do research after 30 years of age. It has to be inculcated right from the beginning. Again, this is again to do with clearly emphasizing this at the medical college level. We actually taught in medical college and never taught about research, actually never see research. We don't even understand research, and research is not just the inherent keenness around it. It's a whole art and a science. It's a knowledge based. And it's very important to have a curriculum which teaches research, teaches the ethos around it, teaches the science around it, teaches the art around it, teaches the understanding around it, right in the medical school itself. Actually considers it as a part of profession rather than a fallback option. If this starts at the medical school level and then actually becomes mandated as a part of professional growth, then we would see a lot more research and good research happening in this country. Otherwise, we would not be progressing in much of the science. At the moment, we see some good research and development happening in India from much of the device industry in recent times. And that is good because that's happening primarily because they want to look at the possible rewards of it, not just in India and for the Indians, but across the world. So research and development and science also needs to be rewarded when it delivers. I have been involved practically since my return from England, and I think my inclination about science and research started with training abroad. And it's often been said that everybody who actually studies in India should actually go and spend time for a couple of years outside the country as well. Certainly to the West, for the specific reason that it inculcates additional qualities which many Indians have. The Indians are the best, I believe, in terms of excellence in expertise, in terms of art, in terms of skills. But it also inculcates the properties of research, of thinking, of delivering, of writing up papers, of writing articles, of understanding the art and science of research, which is so integral, like I said, to the Western medical profession, because it's responsible for the growth. That time spent is actually then builds in, and that's why I've been practically associated with the development, growth, and practically every Indian stent. I have been the principal investigator of practically every Indian stent for the last 15 years. So been part of those studies, and every Indian development and technology that has happened has been integral to my being in some way a part of it, and in some way being an investigator for it. I think it started very early on in my life as a profession. In England, it was very clear that I only moved up the ladder and differentiated myself from the Westerners if I could be a better researcher rather than a better clinician. And I actually therefore did both when I was abroad. And therefore that is what continued to inculcate into me till the date.